Hi, I hope you're having a great day or had a great day, depending on where you are in it. I'm glad you're here. So, today I wanted to get to the immune system booster, the inner sun meditation. So, this is more of an advanced immune therapy meditation, which strengthens the body's ability to fight bacteria and viruses. Now, any type of immune boosting meditation is going to help overall. Even if you have a specific focus in mind, it's still going to help more systems than merely the focus. So this, excuse me, since our immune system is intimately connected to the central nervous system, the glands, and of course our emotions, when we experience chronic feelings of anger, self-defeat, or blame, this can lead to emotional blocks that deplete and weaken our immune system. This meditation helps by using a sun breath technique. And in the context of Kundalini Yoga, sun breathing actually refers to specific breathing techniques that we're practicing to awaken dormant energy within the body. It is not, it's not the swordsman, oh my God, I can't even say it, swordsmanship style of sun breathing techniques in Demon Slayer. It's not the same thing. I just wanted to point that out. I don't think anyone's going to get confused. I just wanted to shout that out. First of all, because it brings me joy and laughter, and it's just a fun thing to add. But with the sun breath in this meditation, it's used to adjust and stimulate the sympathetic nervous system and the right hemisphere of the brain, which is where we store most of our negative emotions that lead us to depression and a lower functioning immune system. And then as we go through this meditation, you're going to experience various emotions. They're going to cycle through the glandular system as it shifts. Do your best to just relax, maintain the meditation, keep going through, just allow the emotions to cycle through, allow your glandular system, your nervous system to shift as it needs to, as the emotional inertia moves, clears out, so you can feel lighter, more energized, and more hopeful. And then just a couple of shout outs before we get started. Um, Please have your head wrapped either with a scarf or a headband, like one of those thicker headbands, which I will be wearing, something like that. This helps to avoid headaches. And then, because this is an advanced meditation, please take the time you need to build up your stamina, your lung capacity, and your patience with where you are. So today's meditation is going to be 1 minute. I know that sounds short. When you get into the meditation, you'll see why. It takes time to build up the practice. So today will be 1 minute, and then I'll post the 3 minute video tomorrow. I was going to post a 5 minute video on Monday. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, just because, like I said, this is an advanced meditation, and it can be taxing, because if you think about it, when you're healing, that can be an exhausting experience, right? When you're clearing stuff out, when you have a really good workout, sometimes those can be exhausting. So again, please take the time, allow yourself patience, and build up your stamina, your lung capacity. Get, attuned to how the meditation makes you feel, so that you can progress with the time and with building up all of the different elements that are a part of this meditation. Because again, it took time to get to where you are, right? It took time to get to the place you're in now. It's going to take time to heal it. So please just keep that in mind. Now, this meditation is meant to be 3. You start at 3, you build up to 31. However, when I first started with Kundalini Yoga, there weren't really a whole lot of teachers that took that into consideration. Most of the teachers just kind of went in and just like forced their way through it. I'm not that type of meditator. I'm not that type of yogi. I'm not. My whole thing has always been just push through, just power through, and that just isn't needed for me any longer. And I don't think that that's necessarily always what's needed. Sometimes powering through is actually more detrimental. So I wanted to break it down into smaller steps so that people actually allow themselves the time to actually grow into it and fill out and, experience the meditation instead of just forcing their way through it. So, again, and of course, it's always a fine line, right? It's just like any yoga pose where it's that fine line between pushing past where your normal boundaries are versus you're pushing your body into a position that is not good for it, right? So it's the difference between uncomfort and sharp pain that lets you know it's too far, right? So same thing with meditation. It's building a relationship with yourself. You're getting to know yourself. So, allow for that time. It's okay to start with 1 minute. It is still effective. It is still beneficial, especially with the more advanced meditations. I don't think that because you're an advanced yogi or you're in an advanced posture, kriya, meditation, whatever it is you're doing, that you should necessarily just force your way through it. I think that kind of negates the purpose of it. So, starting with 1 minute and then posting a 3 minute. And then, of course, just to reiterate, always listen to your body. I kind of just alluded to that, but this is really, again, building a relationship with yourself. A lot of us have not really done that, right? That's not necessarily what society advocates. It's not necessarily what we're taught to do. Take yourself into consideration, factor in where you're at on a myriad of different levels, right? So again, it's just listen to your body, listen to where you're at, and of course, if you need to stop the breath of fire, continue long, deep breathing just through the left nostril, maintain the mudra, that type of thing. Adjust as you need to. Find your breath, find your balance, and then come back to it. So, just to go over, I do have a picture of the meditation as a whole in the thumbnail, just so you could get a visual for anybody that is more visual. I am, so I like to add that. So we're going to have its normal meditative posture, right? So easy pose in a chair. Again, if it's not easy pose or full or partial lotus in the chair, keep both feet on the ground. And then we're going to have a light neck lock, the Julandhar band. And then, of course, our heads wrapped. Again, can be a scarf, can be a wrap, it can be one of those thicker headbands. Those are all fine. And then we're going to bring the left palm up to shoulder level in the Surya Mudra. So the tip of the thumb meets the tip of the ring finger. We're going to hold that at shoulder level. That's not going to move. Right hand's going to be in a fist. The index finger or pointed finger is going to block the right nostril. We're going to practice breath of fire simply through the left nostril for 1 minute. Now, at the end, it's a little bit different. So we're going to have 4 total rounds of this, okay? So we're going to bring the hands together. Your right thumb is going to rest on your left. So because remember, right is associated with the sun, active, fiery energy. Left is associated with the moon, soothing, cooling. Okay, so you're going to have the right thumb over resting on the left thumb. You're going to bring it to about the thymus level, just below the throat, so a little bit lower. And then we're gonna inhale, and as you hold the breath in, you're gonna pull the fingers as tightly as you can. You're gonna flex your arms, and your arms are gonna obviously be parallel to the ground. You're gonna hold as long as you can, squeezing as tightly as you can, and then you're gonna release the breath and release the tension, but keep your arms and your hands where they are. So hands are gonna remain with palms facing toward the thymus at that same level. So you're just relaxing the tension. We're going to do that 3 more times. On the 4th and final inhalation, we're going to inhale, pull tight, 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 all your strength. You want to build as much tension as you can without hurting yourself, of course. Okay, so within where you're at, all your strength with where you're at. Now on this exhale, you're going to exhale through upturned lips because you're going to bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth and seal your tongue to the upper palate. So you're going to so after we hold our breath in, sorry, I'm used to doing this at the end, you're going to exhale through your open mouth with the tongue at the roof of the mouth. So it's going to sound more like a whistle. Then you can relax down and lower your arms. Since that's a little bit different of a closing, I wanted to front load it and say it at the start. It isn't, all of this is also in the description. So if you prefer to have that part of the description loaded so you can see it and remind yourself, that's perfectly fine. And then I do have a mantra listed in the description as well. And that's just to help kind of sync your navel pumps and to regulate your inhalations and exhalations. It's good for both beginners and experienced yogis because the music is more of a um, slower melody, and it does have a quickness when there's chanting. So it can work for both. And I have used this mantra in a few different ways, both in when I needed to help regulate my breath of fire when I was trying to go too fast, too soon. And also it just the way that the music, the beat to it, it helps me with my navel pumps. So I'm hoping it will do the same for you. Feel free to use it today and see if it does help. If not, feel free to pick another Satnam Waheguru mantra that you feel better helps you connect to your breath, maintain your inhalation and exhalation so they're the same. And if you want more information, I did do a separate Breath of Fire video to go over all of that. So it's a separate video instead of trying to incorporate all of this information just in one video. Okay, so because this is a Kundalini Yoga meditation, we'll go ahead and tune in like normal. So rub your palms together, close your eyes. Oh, and the meditation eyes are closed. Forgot to mention that. Go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, exhale. Then we'll tune in with the Adi mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, repeated 3 times. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply, hold the breath, pull the root lock. And exhale. Okay, go ahead and shake out your hands. And then you can pull up the mantra, have that playing. I think it's about 20 seconds in when the chanting actually starts. Bring your left hand up to shoulder level, palm facing out in Surya Mudra with the tip of the thumb meeting the tip of the ring finger. Go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your right hand into a fist. Bring it over to block your right nostril. Remember, we're only doing left nostril breathing, and it is breath of fire. And again, of course, if you feel yourself out of sync, bring yourself back to long, deep breathing through the left nostril and until you find your breath in balance, then come back to it. Go ahead and close your eyes and we'll begin. You can inhale and then we'll begin the breath of fire. Okay, now bring your palms together. Remember, right thumb over left. Gonna inhale deeply, hold the breath, and try to pull the fingers apart without actually doing it. Create a lot of tension in both the arms and the fingers. Exhale when you need to without releasing the arms or the hands. Inhale again, hold the breath, pull, pull, pull. Exhale. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, hold the breath, pull, pull, pull. Exhale through the nose, and then this final time we'll exhale through the mouth with the tongue sealed at the roof of the mouth. Inhale, hold the breath. And then exhale through the mouth with the tongue at the roof. As you exhale, of course, allow the relaxation to come to your arms and hands, and then bring your hands into your lap. Inhale, exhale like normal. Notice how you feel. Notice any shifts or changes. And longer does not always equate to better. Sometimes the shorter meditations can be more effective than if we're trying to force ourselves through a longer meditation that any level of us is not ready to do. Okay, and then with the eyes closed, go ahead and rub your palms together. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, exhale. And we'll tune out with one long Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this meditation helpful, and I will see you soon.